I'm on the train, and I'm going to ride it.
I'm trying to figure out how to make a first down. I'm worried about knee pads.
If we scored, what are you going to do? Right? Yeah, I bet you guys would have wondered. Keep wondering. I'm Catholic now. I'm a Christian. Watch out them devils. No. We practice outside. We play outside. And to their credit, they don't want to go in there. I went in there one time for is that mud storm or the sandstorm, what do they call that thing? Dirty storm, whatever. If you want to board on a little bit later, we got a seat. Just like Ray said, we got a seat for you. Might not be comfortable, but you'll have a seat.
Well, Herm Edwards, in a lot of ways, has been the star of the league, but more importantly, he has been one of the stars in our Pass the Mic segment, never at a loss for some creativity at some of those press conferences. Coach, I really do appreciate you stopping by with us here on Pac-12 Network.
Well, thank you. It's good to see you, my friend. It's good to be on the network. You guys do a fabulous job of covering our conference, which is very important. I've always felt that this conference, even going back to when I played it, the Pac-8, was one of the better conferences in college football. And I think through the course of the season, it will bear the fruit of that.
Well, one of the signature wins that this conference has right now is because of what your team was able to do against Michigan State. But I want to rewind here, and I don't want to harp on the San Diego State game by any means, because now and I know you want to just move on. There's nothing you can do to change the result, and we're going to move forward here. But I do want to get your take on the targeting call, and more specifically, if you think that the league or the NCAA should look into situations like that are fluky, but a targeting call actually benefited that team. So what do you think can be done moving forward in situations like that?
Well, I think the powers to be will look at all these situations and try to determine what is best for football and the outcome of football games. And I think maybe looking at this as a spot foul would be a consideration in my point of view. And I know that the people in the conference are always looking to try to make the game better and to make sure it's a level playing field, especially when it comes to rules. And I think as this thing continues to get looked at, that will be a discussion at the meetings.
I know you had said this to your team, and because I read some of the quotes and I saw your press conference as well. The game didn't come down to that specific moment, but as you guys move forward this week at practice, is there a change in the meter based off of that result?
Well, I think the meter is this, is that we have struggled winning road games, and we've got to correct that. And going to San Diego State, playing those guys, it was a tough opponent. Similar traits to Michigan State, except it was on the road. And when you go on the road, now we had a great fan base following us, but it's still not at home. And there's a certain comfort that players have at home, and we have to get out of that comfort zone, knowing that we have to provide our own energy when you get on the road. That's critical, because things are going to happen that happen every time in a football game. At home, you're more comfortable when there's inconvenience, less is comfortable when you're on the road with the inconvenience.
Coach, I know there's nothing you can do about it right now because conference play is looming. In terms of your running game, offensively, where is that at right now based off of what we saw over the weekend?
Well, very inconsistent, and we've played two really good defenses too, by the way. That doesn't help you to run the football by any stretch of the imagination, but we have to improve with our running game, especially on the road. It's very difficult to go back 40-plus times and try to win a football game on the road against good defenses, and this week Washington poses the same problem. They have an excellent defense overall, really talented secondary players, so we have to have some kind of balance in our offense.
Defensively, through those first 2 weeks, you guys were absolutely stellar, terrific. What's the difference in weeks 1 and 2 compared to week 3?
Well, we got to give San Diego State credit, but also our inability to, at times, not align correctly. And they did a great job of really blocking the interior front of ours and making our safeties and our corners tackle. And that became a problem. When you don't line up right, all of a sudden you miss a gap or your stunts in the wrong gap. You leave free runners at the back end of your secondary, and that's never good.
Coach, I talked to our basketball guys a lot about this because we've had a little bit more turnover on that side in terms of the coaching ranks than we have in football the last few years. One of the biggest adjustments is what happens in non-conference play compared to league play. You got a great staff. What are some of those conversations like as you get set for UW?
Well, I think the thing that they're familiar with UW. They played them last year, and they understand the mindset and they understand how this team goes about doing their business. And they're one of the better teams in the conference. Period. You know, they're ranked. They're a ranked football team, rightly so. So I think the coaches that have played against them in the past, they understand the mindset of these guys, and I think the players that have been here in the past that have played them gives you somewhat of a mindset. But the problem is our youth. You know, every time our youth steps on the field, whether it's offense or defensively, this is the first time not only did they played in this conference, but against opponents as well.
Coach, you know, I was in Salt Lake City for the Utah UW game. The thing that stood out in that matchup was just how physical both teams were, but really Washington, the pursuit to the ball, the amount of hits and the big hits that they were putting on some of those Utah offensive players. When you watch the film, do they remind you of a team, or is there a guy on that roster that looks to you as one of the scarier guys in the Pac-12?
Well, I just think they're a sound defensive unit, and they built that over the course of 3 seasons, where they understand their DNA. They're very good tackling secondary, big physical linebackers that can tackle. They've got a nice front that can get some push at the line of scrimmage. So they're a well-coordinated group. They got a lot of confidence too, and that helps. You know, when defense always travels. That's what we say in football. Defense travels as well as a running game. If you have those two components working, you have a chance to win games.
I feel like I have heard Curtis Conway and Yogi Roth talk about that defense traveling. Coach, before we let you get going, every single morning I wake up, I'm checking my Twitter feed, trying to figure out what has gone on the last couple days, and I get motivated by some of your tweets. Where are you coming up with some of these motivational tweets you're sending out for your guys?
Well, early in the morning, you know I'm an early riser. Right around 4:30, that's when I prepare to work out, and that's when my thought process really starts thinking about things to say, and hopefully they're positive things. You've known me over the years. I'm a positive kind of guy. I just believe in this word called hope. When you have hope, it brings on an energy that there's nothing like it, you know, and I'm that guy. I'm always hopeful regardless of what the situation is. I'm always going to try to share my hope with people.
Coach, before we let you get going, one other thing here, because Curtis has talked about this a whole lot.
That's one of my guys.
He is. As a guy that played for you, he always talks about how much fun it was, because you're such a player's coach as well. How much fun are you having at this point of the season? And I know you're coming off of a loss, but you guys have been the talk of the college football world through these first couple weeks of the year.
I'm having so much fun, I can't even tell you. You know, it's fun to be back on the grass. I had a great run with the worldwide leader. That's my second home, but my first home has always been football. I love it. I love the atmosphere. I love dealing with the players and really trying to change lives as well as win games. That's very important to me.
Coach, we love having you on the show. We cannot wait to see you in person this coming week. Obviously, our pregame show is going to be in Seattle for a huge test that your Sun Devils will be facing. So best of luck, and hopefully your guys stay healthy too.
Thank you, my friend.